So I was mostly bullied in my high school years, like very, very well, for most of my high school years. And that stuff haunted me even to my university years. I was bullied in my university days, but I'll say to some extent, right? Which I'll get back to later in this video. So, what happened down my story with this bullying? I was bullied by people who I was bigger than, ironically. I was bigger than people, I was bullied by people who were bigger than me, obviously. But as time progressed, even in my university days, remember when I said I was still bullied in my university? I began to catch a drift as what was really happening. Now, in my uni days, I was thinking that I was thinking that becoming a bigger person will mean that people will not bully me at all. But what ended up happening was I was feeling this insecurity inside of me, thinking that me becoming physically bigger was the solution to my problems. Nah, at all. It was not. It was only just scratching the surface. Because in my fitness journey, I had no particular aim. All I wanted to be was just bigger than the average person, thinking that I was not big enough to not be bullied. It was in my university days that I started learning karate, the basics of karate, and my life actually began to change. My mental state began to change. So if I'm to give you any advice on how to fight, the first tip I'll tell you is that learning how to fight is first of all a mental game before it is a physical game. But before I get into it, I'd like to tell you that there are three kinds of people, men in this world. Mind you, we live in a very safe world, relatively safe world as compared to what it was 100 to 1,000 years ago. We live in like very, very safe, comfortable times. But they've always been three kinds of people. One are the sheeps, the people who get preyed on. I call them the sheeps. Two are the wolves, which is the people who prey on the weak. And the third category are the sheepdogs. The sheepdogs are just as dangerous as the wolves, right? But they protect the sheep. And I began to understand this philosophy as I became older, as I began to learn how to fight. Now, the first thing I learned when I learned how to fight was the fact that everything regarding fighting is first of all a mental game. Even mixed martial arts is first of all a mental game before it is a physical game. Yeah, but most people assume that, oh, learning how to fight is about dominating people. Now, even dominating people is more of a mental game than it is a physical game. So I realized this way in my university, most of the bullying happened mentally, not physically. I mean, because they were very strict rules. I went to a Christian university, so the rules they were very, very strict. So you fight, you're going home for 1 year. But the bullying was a mental game. Bro. Now in my story, I'm not going to come here and say I was a saint. At some point in my story, I was a bully. And I'll say fighting helped me understand the mind of a bully and the bullied. Because if you ever learn how to fight, you'll get to realize that before any fight happens in the physical, it has already occurred in the mental state in terms of that dominance. So the person who is being fought is being dominated by the other person. Trust me, I call it a mind fuckery, but it is what it is. So when you learn how to fight, right? When you learn how to fight, you get to realize that one, you become more in control of yourself. You are less impulsive because you are comfortable in your own skin, right? And one thing I always say is, first of all, learning how to fight will, first of all, by default, make you safer than not learning how to fight. That is a very vanity metric. But learning how to fight will help you control your ego more. One, two, learning how to fight will help you to control the egos of other people. So learning how to fight, right, from the best fighters will make you realize that the best way to win a fight is to maybe avoid or control the situation. So, for example, you're talking to somebody and the person feels like he's about to throw a punch. Your best bet, you're thinking of ways in which you can stop the fight using your words. That is where you begin to control your ego. Because, first of all, you know how dangerous you are. But there's really no point testing that danger. Because you can't tell how much danger the other person has. So you see it better to control the situation using your brain before using your skull. That is something I learned from my second karate teacher. Because, like I always said, fighting is first of all a mental game. Now, when you learn how to fight, because like I said, it's martial arts. You are engaging in a form of art, not in a form of not in a form of brawl. You're not trying to prove anything to anybody. You get to learn things on how to calm your mind. Now imagine you're fighting, you're being tensed up because a blow is coming to you. At some point, you begin to understand that that blow, that's coming to you can do you very little harm if you know how to control it. And if you see somebody who has studied martial arts and he gets the point of martial arts, you get to see how calm he is in almost any situation. And speaking about being a very, very dangerous person, right? One thing you should get to realize is that the more dangerous you are, also with compassion, the better you feel about yourself. People assume that being dangerous is about it's about being aggressive, it's about committing violence. No. It's never like that. It's the people who are the most aggressive and the people who we want protecting us. Those are the sheepdogs. Now, learning how to fight could potentially put you as a sheepdog in this story. So, the second tip I'd like to give to you about learning how to fight is the fact that you become confident in your own skin. You're much more relaxed. Whenever there's chaos, you are doing more of thinking than reacting. Because why? Now you're calm. What is the worst that could happen in this situation? A punch is not coming to you. You are much more quiet. You are much more guided. You don't see something coming to you, most especially words, and you're reacting. There's a reason that most of the best world leaders pass through the military or in some form of martial arts. Most of the top 1%. And I think I was reading a post today where he says that the top 1%, they do things that are very hard. And most of the things that are very hard, not even in the practice, but in the head. We begin to put so much pressure on ourselves that, oh, what if I fail? The martial artist is saying, okay, if I've been punched in the face, what is the worst that could happen? This is why I tell all men need to learn how to fight, because if you can get punched in the face, right, and you're okay, you get to realize that, well, it's not that bad. Can you hit harder? If you can get to that point, what's the worst that could happen? When you are going to approach maybe a very fine woman who you think is out of your league, what is the worst that could happen? You've already received real blows. You've received physical blows, mental blows. You ask yourself, so what's the worst that could happen? You're approaching her. Now, you know that in martial arts, you have to do your best. Obviously, you aim to get better. You do your best and you leave the rest. So if you approach her and she says you're not her type, you back off. You understand, you stay calm. That is something that's another benefit. You are much more regulated in terms of your state. You are less reactive, right? You are less reactive to anything that's going to happen. Plus, people have this idea that if you have a gun, right? Or that means if you have a gun, you really do not need to learn how to fight. That is far from the truth. Because why? One thing you should learn about when you're fighting people, right? I mean, take it from me. For any situation that involves you to get into maybe a fight stance, can throw anybody off balance. Imagine you have a gun beside you and you are thrown off balance, right? You are thrown off balance. Do you know how crazy that would be? You have a gun beside you, and it happens to even the best, not the best, but some fighters. They know how to fight. But the moment they are put in that situation of a real life threat, they lose their balance. And when they lose their balance, everything flies out the window. Now, imagine this, you have a gun. You may say, oh, my gun, I can point and shoot. Well, a lot of people, because of the gun is on safety, they start fidgeting when they have a gun. Like I've said, the fight happens first in the mental. Because anybody who wants to attack you and knows what he's doing will first of all try his possible best to attack you mentally. The best fighters put you in that, they get there, they get to that situation where they can control themselves mentally. That is why, if you look at martial arts in its purest form, you get to see black belters meditate a lot. Because they've gotten the understanding that fighting is a physical game, quite alright, but it is more of a mental game. And if they throw this off balance, they're messed up, they're fucked. That is why if you watch the best martial artists, you get to realize that even when they are fighting, they are very calm. You could basically hear their breath while they move. Yes, they are quick. They are quick to respond, but they do not react. There's a very thin line between reacting and responding, right? And that is one thing you need. If you learn how to fight, you learn that separation between reacting and responding, because you fully understand yourself. You are fully confident in your own skin. And one other point I'll show you is that when you learn how to fight, I mean, you're already capable. So now I'm in a mixed martial arts school right now, and which I'm about to join boxing. And one thing I got to realize is that everybody in that space of my martial arts class, everybody has a level of discipline. When we talk about philosophical ideas, everybody goes along. What that tells you is that you're also in an environment of sharp thinkers, disciplined people. For crying out loud, I have never seen anybody who is stupid in a martial arts school. I have never in my entire life seen somebody like that. If you're stupid, you don't belong to a martial arts school, because whether you like it or not, but if you start the process of learning how to fight, at some point, you become sharper in your thinking. Yeah, it does sharpen your thinking. It makes you think faster and make more calculations. Now, I'm not referring to quantum physics kind of smart, but you can be able to be aware of the situation. Now, one other benefit of learning how to fight is the fact that you become more respectful. Now, over here at this place, we have all sorts of people who are learning how to fight. My main instructor is a nutrition and dietitian in a college, in a polytechnic. Another instructor there is also a lecturer. The second instructor in this particular camp he's a graphics artist. He draws comics, right? And he's very small. So what that means is that if you potentially run into somebody like this on the road and you want to start a fight, right? Your mind will never tell you that he's very good at fighting. You will never ever know that he's that good at fighting. We also have people, we literally have somebody who is a welder. We have somebody who is a pastor who is learning how to fight. Although that's kind of like suspicious. I don't know what he's fighting, whether it's demons or whatever he's fighting, but not my business though. But that fact that the people who learn how to fight, they come from all walks of life. The people who learn how to fight they come in all shapes and sizes, will make you understand that whenever you have to engage in a situation, right, maybe you get into an argument with somebody, you never can tell who you're about to fight. So you'll be much more calm, respectful, and then you get to approach the situation with ease. Now, I'd like to end this video on the fact that Miyamoto Musashi is one of the best martial artists to ever walk the surface of this planet. And he wrote a book, The Dokoto. That book, as we speak, is one of the best self-improvement books ever. If you see anybody who is deep into self-improvement, it is very difficult for them not to have read the Dokoto. And when they read the Dokoto, their mind completely shifts. I've read the book. I keep reading people's summary of it just to understand how this guy was thinking. And mind you, he got all of these practices because of martial arts. He was also a Buddhist. And if you get to also pair up martial arts with some spiritual practice, your mind will be on a different level. I can guarantee you that. Your mind will be on a different level if you can combine martial arts and some spiritual practice, which is why a lot of martial artists they meditate. I don't think you know what it means for you to see a kick coming. You're so comfortable that you know how to control that kick. Now, I'm not saying that you should take a pause when kicks are coming to you. I'm not saying that. When a kick comes to you, you don't fidget, you don't throw yourself off balance. You're not thinking, you know what to do in that situation. That is how calm fighters are. Right. And well, so also now for some vanity extra points. Bro, the guys at the gym who are lifting all the weights at the gym, a lot of them don't know how to fight. A lot of them have what is called impractical muscles. Muscles that you can never ever deploy in your entire life. Do you know how crazy it is? That somebody who's half your size can beat you up if the time arises. So I'm not going to lie to you. Even as I go to the gym, whenever I see guys bigger than me, right? Obviously, I don't think it's ever worth it going to a fight. Seeing the fact that my instructor, who is half their size, can beat almost anybody at my gym, it's kind of like interesting. It just further reminds me that you should respect every single person, regardless of the size, regardless of the gender, because my instructor told me that the most feared martial artists in terms of committing the highest amount of danger are the female black belters. They are very nimble, they are very quick, and they actually like to do things that are very wicked and tell you sorry after. So it's like they are very curious on how a move works, so they will do it on you. I think, oh, I'm very, very sorry. But they have an idea of what's going to work. So, in further chances, avoid, precisely the women. If she's a black belter, but although you can't really tell if she's a black belter. So when you are safer, just respecting women like that, regardless of whether she's a black belter or not. So guys, that's it. I really hope after this video, you sign up for a fight class, because trust me, it will help you in every single area of your life. Like I said, it will help you here first before it helps you there next. So I really hope I was able to convince you. I'm not confused with that. Learning how to fight should be a priority for all men. Plus again, learning how to fight makes you dangerous. And when you're dangerous, that is when you have the mind, that's when you have the audacity to say that you are a good person. You can't be a good person if you are not capable of danger. It's not just possible. You can't be a good person. So if you want to claim to be a good person, learn how to be capable first. Know how be able to commit havoc, danger, and then choose not to. It's one thing if you can't. It's one thing if you can commit as much danger, but yet you are calm. You choose not to commit that same danger. That will put you on a different path completely. So thank you very much. Kindly share my video with someone who realizes that the world right now is going to shit. And the only way that this world can be saved is if we literally make men strong again, right? Make men strong again is about telling men that they have to be responsible for themselves. And the kind of men who are kind of breathing are not the men who believe that money is everything, or who believe that muscles is everything. These are the men that are well-rounded. These are the men that money is there, they take care of the family, they take care of those around them, so that they make the world a better place. Thank you very much. Kindly share my video with them. Let's make this movement better. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.